Coffee Talk. I am your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. Stay tuned.
Peace, 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 peace. And welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast show. And I am your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba. And this is our Cultural Variety Podcast show. How y'all doing? People. Peace, respect to y'all. Greetings. Hey, I need y'all to do me a favor as you start to chime on in. Can you hear the fan blowing? Because I don't want that echo to play throughout the the video of our podcast tonight. So go ahead and leave that in the chat. Let me know if you can hear the fan. Better yet, I'm just gonna go ahead and turn it off. But give me one moment, all right? All right. Ooh. How are y'all doing today? July 28th, 2023. And tonight we're going to go ahead and celebrate 50 years of hip hop. We also going to talk about the big fight tomorrow. You know what I mean? I'm so excited about this weekend. Yeah, I'm excited. There's a little bit of something for everybody this weekend. There's a big MMA fight. I heard about it. I don't know the participants. You know what I'm saying? I do watch MMA though. Don't get it twisted. I do watch MMA. I'm old school. I'm one of them Royce Gracie heads. You know what I mean? I'm one of those Royce Gracie dudes that enjoyed the Gracie family in MMA. If anybody are true fans. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on tomorrow. MMA, the boxing match, and it's just going to be a good weekend, a good, peaceful, safe, and honorary weekend. Should we just use that word, honorary weekend? Because, brothers need to be honorable about themselves. You know what I'm saying? All right, well, listen, this is Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast show, as I had stated. And if this is your first time tuning in, well, tonight is our Wednesday. It's Friday. It's Friday night. This is Friday night social hour. So this is how we do it. But we're going to have fun tonight. So come on, tune on in. Let me know you're here. Hit the like button. Let me know you're here. Give me a shout out. Let's talk hip hop, man. Tell me, let's reflect. Let's go back, man. You know what I mean? So what I did tonight for the show is I just wrote down a whole bunch of stuff. So tonight we're just going to bob and weave a little bit, you know what I'm saying, on a whole bunch of different topics that we reflected on, that was inspiring, that was dope, that was true MCing, lyrical bound, movies, television, all that. We're going to just try to throw a little bit as we can out for its 50th anniversary. True hip hop heads know it's been longer than that, but we're going to say the 50th anniversary. And let's go ahead and get started. If this is your first time tuning in to the Coffee Talk Podcast, we never start the show without giving you the flavor as well as the wise words. If this is your first time, you're like, what's the flavor? What's the wise words? Well, the flavor is anything that tastes good, or sometimes anything that just needs to be said. The flavor, though, is what we give. Because it's Coffee Talk Podcast. Everybody need to have a little flavor in their coffee, right? Right. You know what I'm saying? The wise words is always an affirmation, always something that's going to inspire us. Because that's really what we're here for. This is our show. This ain't the old media. This is new media. And what we like to do is give you the culture. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we do. All right. So today, flavor is water. It's water. I ain't playing. It's water. Why? Because all throughout the country, man, it's baking. Woo, it's hot, man. But you know what? I like it, man. I love the heat. You know, I might complain a little bit here and there, man, but it feels beautiful this summer. You know what I'm saying? We're getting a little bit of rain and things like that, but it feels beautiful. You know, I've been seeing a few little things on TV, but you know, I don't even watch TV no more, man. To be honest with you, I kind of just skim it. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's been a beautiful summer wherever you are. May have been some good times as well this summer for you. So big shout out to all of y'all. You know what I mean? So yeah, tonight flavor is water, man. Get you some water, man. Get you some water. If you don't need some water, go get somebody some water. Matter of fact, I got a cup right here. Yes, indeed. It's purified. I like purified. Let me know what kind of water y'all like. You know, you got purified, you got distilled, you have what H2O, spring water. Somebody said H2O is water. Yeah, exactly. What H2O3, which is fruit, which is water, but you know, fruit is what is that? 90%, 98% water. You know, but I got me some water tonight. How about you? What are y'all sipping on tonight? It's Friday. It's 8 o'clock. It's an early show. You know what I'm saying? What are y'all doing? Y'all ironing? Do people iron anymore? I still do. I just can't wrinkle. You know, I can't be wrinkled. But you know, these new air dryer, these washer and dryers, man, they so high tech nowadays. When you dry your clothes, you should be ready already. You know what I'm saying? So hey, I have snuck away without even ironing it before, but yeah, man, I like to iron. I'm old school. You know what I mean? What do y'all do? Y'all still iron? That's a funny ass way to say that word too. Iron? Who made that? Who called that? That's what that's gonna be. Iron. Yes. But our wise words. Our wise words is from a great artist. He comes from Atlanta, Georgia. This brother is one of the members of the Dungeon family. Great poet, great thinker, great artist all around. Part of Goody Mob. Sung on some of the greatest down south tracks with Killer Mike, Outkast. We're talking about no other than CeeLo Green. CeeLo Green. So tonight's wise words is this. CeeLo Green. CeeLo Green said, there was a time when I didn't like myself at all. I thought I was a cruel joke. But now I've come to realize that maybe I am not cute, but I am beautiful. That's CeeLo Green, y'all. CeeLo Green, no doubt, is our wise words for tonight. You know, sometimes people be fighting over if they cute, you know, because society wants you to be cute. You know what I mean? From plastic to everything. That's just what they funnel through the televisions. I want to be cute. I want to be cute. You got to be cute. This is fashion. And you know what I mean? And sometimes people can't get to that cute. Or sometimes people don't want to be that cute. But everybody has beauty in them. And that's what makes you beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So the wise word for the night is CeeLo Green. Big up to CeeLo Green, man. I've always fucked with CeeLo Green. I ain't even gonna front. CeeLo Green's dope. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and talk about the fight. Yeah, man, the fight. You know what it is? The fight, baby. It's tomorrow, man. That's right, tomorrow. The 147-pound welterweight world championship that's going to be held at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. It's between the WBA, the WBC, the IBF champ, ERROL the Truth Spence, against the boy from Nebraska, the boy that comes orthodox. He can switch it up on you. The boy that got a 90% knockout rate. His last 9 fights, he done rocked them. Who am I speaking of? Terrence Bud Crawford, the WBO world champion. They getting it on tomorrow, man. And I'm so excited about it because we get to see a fight of 2 champions that ain't gonna run, that ain't, you know, y'all say people run. Well, you're gonna see brothers that ain't gonna run. You know what I mean? They not gonna run from one another. They both want that contact. You know, so I'm definitely excited about the fight tomorrow. We haven't seen a fight like this in some years. You know, some people say that when Pac-Man and Mayweather fought, which was a mega fight. Don't ever get it twisted. It was box office. It broke numbers. But a lot of people use the excuses. You can't go nowhere without an excuse, right? So they use the excuse of Pac-Man should have fought him, or Mayweather should have fought him when he was younger, blah, blah, blah. You know, you never can take an ass whooping. That's what's wrong with you kids today. You can't never take an ass whooping. Hey, I thought about Pops when I said that just now. I thought about Pops on Friday, man. No doubt, no doubt. What was Pop's name, man? It was John what? John Witherspoon? No doubt, no doubt. The great John Witherspoon, no doubt. All right, so listen. You know about the fight tomorrow. I'm trying to change the background as well because I want to see the fight. I got the fight where I can pull it up. You know what I mean? But other than that, man, this is Coffee Talk Podcast. Let me know how your day going. How your day been, y'all? It's Friday. You have a lot of stuff to do this weekend. Did you get it done? You know, let me know. Go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know what you done today, what you relieved of. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoo. You ever feel like that? Sometimes you be like, whoo, shit. You know what I'm saying? What are you relieved of? You like, oh, I can't wait to kick these shoes off. My damn feet hurt. You know what I mean? Hey, ladies, this is funny. I've never seen it in a skit, but I've heard you ladies talk about this before. And so I'm just imagining that it's fucking hilarious. That, you know, and I got a lot of female cousins, but when you ladies talk about you can't wait to get home to take your bra off so your titties can get some air and shit and you put the fan on them, that shit is fucking hilarious. I would love to see that in some type of comedy skit. You know what I mean? I would love to see that. But yeah, let me know where you at, man. It's Friday. You're ironing. You're calling your friends. You're talking about, hey, Coffee Talk Podcast is on. Wait, how do I get on it? You can check it out on YouTube, Facebook Live. You know what I'm saying? We definitely welcome you here. And when you come in here, when you come in here, make sure that you pour yourself something, man. You can pour yourself some water, some wine, a smoothie, some orange juice, a cappuccino, a latte, whatever you do. But come on in here, kick your feet up, relax, and have a good time, man. You know what I mean? That's what I want you to do. That's what we do here at Coffee Talk Podcast. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the 50 years of hip hop. I'm a little disappointed because I thought I had a picture here. Since the fight is tomorrow, You know what I'm saying? I thought I had a picture that I can blow up in the background. I want to say I do. So just bear with me a minute. While you there, pour yourself something to drink. Let me know what time it is. It's summertime. Y'all's hitting the beaches, right? What books y'all reading, though? Don't tell me that y'all, as beautiful as the weather has been, y'all going to the beaches and ain't taking no book. So y'all just going there to put your head down and continue to be on your phone, right? I mean, we all be on our phone, though. But I'm just talking shit, but I want you to understand. You're missing the nature. You're missing the nature when you go to the beach with no book. And then when you get there, you just want to look down at your phone, text and all that, and have a mean mug face because you're hot. You know you ain't getting in the water. Bring y'all there something to relax your mind and let your conscience be free when you are at the beaches. All right, listen, let's go ahead and dive right in to 50 years of hip hop, man. So this is how we're gonna do it, because 50 years of hip hop, right? It's so broad. Our hip hop is so broad. So how I'm gonna take you on my journey is I'm gonna go ahead, start from the beginning a little bit, but then I'm just gonna start picking things that I thought of that I want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? And as we go, you'll see how I'm doing it, what the routine is. And I would love for you to chime on in. Let me know what you remember about 50 years of hip hop, man. Let me know. You know what I mean? Let me know what it felt like when you put on them blue suede Pumas back in the day. You know what I'm talking about? It's Friday Night Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast Show. And it's your boy Doc. That's right. Somebody said, why you gotta say it so loud? I do. Your boy Doc, man. This is Coffee Talk Podcast. All right. 50 years of hip hop. I remember, man, that I'm gonna age myself just a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm on the council now. But I remember when hip hop was on the radio. You know what I'm saying? I remember when it was on the radio, not like today. I'm talking about a radio, not a Walkman. Y'all remember Walkmans when you used to put your tape in the Walkman and put it on the side of your belt and you listen to music all day. That was before the CDs, the CD players. But I remember when we first heard hip hop on the radio. And it was The Message, Grandmaster Melly Mel, Scorpio. Don't push me because I'm close to the edge. I'm trying not to lose my head. It's like a jungle sometimes that make me wonder why I keep from going under. Did you hear that? I mean, seriously, did you hear that? When I first heard that come out of this radio, that when you would turn it, it had a turn knob. And it makes some weird ass noise like that because you trying to find a frequency that's open so you can hear the music. And being here in the Twin Cities, you know, we didn't get that much then. We're going to travel down this path and I'll show you where we end up. But at that time, it was the radio, and that was coming out the radio. When I look at the album cover today, and I see the brothers and how they were dressed back then and stuff like that, that really don't bother me. Because when we was hearing hip hop off the radio, it was all about your lyricism, creating an image, painting a picture that was so vivid, you know? And this was even before the rap videos. The rap video started to come along. Melly Mel had a video, don't get me wrong. But the first time we heard it was straight off the radio box, man. And then we finally saw it. And it was incredible. It was here to stay. It gave artists an opportunity to express themselves. And these artists was coming out of our communities, just like anything does, of course. But I'm talking about the birth of hip hop at that time. Let's continue. So next up, after I heard them, I heard KRS-One. There was others in between. But I heard a KRS-One. Knowledge reigns supreme over everyone. The Blast Master. BDP Posse. I had a friend in high school, and he used to play good basketball, man. He used to play good basketball, but he didn't play on the team. You know, we lived in the same area, maybe a block apart. Good homie. And I remember him coming to school, and he was in the gym. We must have just finished practice, but he was coming in there. That was my guy. He still is. Ain't seen him in years. And he said, man, you ever heard KRS-One? KRS-One? Yeah, KRS-One. And KRS-One had this joint called My Philosophy. And that was crazy. Because to us, it was street. And what I mean by street is, in another sense, I should say it was gangster. Yet, he was very conscious, and he still is. Peace to the God. But he was giving you a vivid message, an imagery of what it was like. But at the same time, KRS-One is so lyrical that he doesn't waste anything in a bar. He's hip hop personified. What y'all think about KRS-One? Leave a comment. Let me know you with me. Let me know you rocking with me tonight on this Friday night, July 28th. It's Friday. Y'all get ready to go out. Some of y'all eating. You know some of y'all's asses eating. Hey, do y'all like my background? These sisters right here, 50 years of hip hop. All these beautiful queens behind me on the screen here are lyrical. And not only are they lyrical, but they can create a portrait through their lyrics. I remember the first time I heard Moni Love. Little British girl, wasn't she? Queen. Queen Latifah, what can I say? People, if you don't know her catalog or don't know much of her other than what you may have known in the last 5-10 years, check out her discography. Check out the complete Queen Latifah. She was dope, man. Confident. These women behind me, man, they didn't have to really, they played on their sexuality, but they wasn't sexual in the sense of they had to look like we at the strip club. Nah. These sisters was lyrical, man. They created a portrait of what they were going through. The stories they knew from just being women as well as coming from the hood. They was giving you different perspectives through their music and their art. "50 years of hip hop." There was a group by the name of Finesse and Sequence. Do y'all remember Finesse and Sequence? All you older heads out there? When I say older heads, man, please don't take it offensive. Because older head to me don't mean you're old. Older head to me means that you one of the council. Knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. You're older head, you're trustworthy in your communities. You who people come through for guidance or counsel, or just to be with people that spread love and equality. It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful to be an old head. What you talking about? I remember growing up, they used to say, when we first started to see wine cellars, you ever watch those old Aaron Spelling? Ask your parents who Aaron Spelling is, but Aaron Spelling was a big time Hollywood producer, and he used to have all these shows and stuff. And that's when you would see the rich mansions and shit. So one time you would see a wine cellar. And the thing that the cliche or the word to say that came from that imagery was, we age like fine wine. We age like fine wine. Y'all ever heard that? Yeah. 50 years of hip hop. 50 years of hip hop. Told y'all I was going to be bouncing everywhere, didn't I? I want to go ahead and give a shout out to the Fat Boys. That's right, the Fat Boys. And that's Cool Rock Ski, Buffy, and Prince Marky D. When the Fat Boys first came out, not only were they stylish, because back then the bomber jackets was in, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we travel down this journey of 50 years of hip hop. But to be some big brothers, they dressed well. You know what I mean? They were funny. Buffy did what he did. Buffy, you know what I mean? No disrespect to the God. Peace to him. Respect to Buff. But the Fat Boys was an inspiration, not just for fat guys, but for hip hop. Because they were funny. And they were lyrical, man. Cool Rock Ski was a problem. Prince Marky D was a problem. Buff was a problem on the beatbox. Incredible. 50 years hip hop. I remember this 4-member girl group. It was out during this time. Their names was in vogue. These sisters were beautiful, man. I mean, beautiful. But most importantly, they could sing, man. They were just great with harmony. They would put stuff together, man, that was just wow. It was Destiny's Child before Destiny's Child. Great group. 50 years of hip hop. I remember when the producers came on the scene. Because in hip hop was part of its elements. So you had the DJs, the breakers, the rappers, the dancers, the graffiti artists. All of them was getting shine. All of them was getting love. But then started to come the producers. And so tonight, speaking of 50 years of hip hop, I want to talk about Herbie Lovebug. Herbie Lovebug, little short, Spike Lee looking dude. He had the baby high top fade. He was a couple inches smaller than Big Daddy Kane's and Kid of Kid and Play. I liked Herbie Lovebug. Herbie Lovebug was the manager for Salt and Pepper. I want to say he managed Kid and Play too. And maybe a few others I might be missing. Herbie Lovebug was one of the dudes to first orchestrate his artists going from just being artists on a record label to being on the big screen. Herbie Lovebug. Shout out to Herbie Lovebug. 50 years of hip hop. Told y'all we're gonna just jump around. I wrote down a lot of different things that's inspiring me to talk about my reflection in hip hop and how we perceived it. Not just the fact that I'm a Midwest guy, but also looking at it from being in the Midwest, looking at both ends of the coast, and how their music trickled down into the Midwest and the South. 50 years of hip hop. Here's this dude, man. Some don't call him so much as young anymore. I think he's been out, what, 5 to 7 years now? He signed to Rock. And his name is J. Cole. This brother J. Cole, man. I like J. Cole. I like his flow. I saw a documentary on him, where he came from. You know, the things he went through. Somebody let me know where J. Cole's from. Isn't he from Memphis, Tennessee, or somewhere in that area? Leave a comment. But when this brother first came out, man, his rhyme style was just crispy. It really was. It was very clear. And he's another lyricist that can paint a picture, that can create imagery, and you can see it through his lyrics so vividly. I think he's one of the best out right now, as far as from his class on until up till right now. Yeah, man. To me, today's rap is backed by the machine at this point. Even, I mean, music's always been backed by the machine. The machine always had its hands in it. But even more now. I wouldn't say hip hop is dead as we celebrated its 50th tonight. But a lot of people like to orchestrate bad things to subconsciously influence our youth to do unnatural things. But people like J. Cole, man, I like what he's doing with his music. 50 years of hip hop. I remember the first time I heard this dude coming out of Canada, light-skinned dude. My lady came to me and said, "Be on the lookout." It's like, "Be on the lookout?" She's like, "Yeah. There's a dude by the name of Drake. About to take over the game," she said. I said, "Oh, yeah?" And by this time, there was another artist also coming out around that same time period. His name was Rick Ross. I told her, I was like, "Man, Rick Ross too. Let's be on the lookout." But I remember the first Drake album. Had like the firecracker intro or whatever. I don't know the name of it. Leave that part in the comments. Are you here with me? You here with me? Let me know. But I remember Drake coming out, man, and the dude was versatile. I remember what Jamie Foxx said about him back then. He said, "Man, this dude's a threat. Not only is he an actor, not only is he a rapper, but the dude can sing." Me, I'm on some, he can sing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, man, ain't nobody tripping off of singing. Although singing's always been around in hip hop. But this dude, Drake, man, you got to respect him. Lyrically, as well as he was taking cats out in battle. I mean, taking cats out. He took out the kid from Philly, Meek Mill. And I say, yeah, Pusha T got him. I'll say that. But it was a good battle, and Drake came hard. Drake would have beat anybody in that battle on any given Sunday. But when Pusha T pulled the card on him about him having a son that he was hiding, blah, blah, y'all know the rest. We still giving love out to Drake, Drizzy Drake. He's incredible, man. His catalog is crazy. 50 years of hip hop. I remember this young lady first stepping on the scene. With Biggie. I remember the first album. With her in this revealing, beautiful, I don't know what you want to call it, lingerie. And she was kind of in a sitting position on this bear, man. Bear rug. The album cover would entrance you. It would magnetize you. It'd make you walk over to aisle 2 in Sam Goody. The record shops. One of them was called Sam Goody. And this lady, beautiful queen. Oh, man. Every man's desire. Her name was Little Kim. Little Kim was all feminine. In her testosterone level, I should say, because she was snap. I won't call her a pit bull. But she was girly, but had bars. Little Kim was an assassin that liked to have fun, that rejoiced into her feminine qualities, that was ladylike, but also would tell you what she liked and how down she was for Big Papa. 50 years of hip hop with his family. Continue on this journey with me. I remember this dude, man, had a Kango. He said, box! When he was in auditioning with his boys for Run DMC and Jam Master Jay. He had such confidence. He was the epitome of an MC. Because back then it was about battling. Back then you had to have lyrical content. We talking about LL Cool J. 20 albums. Might even be more than that. And I believe he got one coming. 50 years of hip hop. I remember this dude. He used to rap real fast, man. Out of Chicago. And I don't know. I want you to leave this in the comment, but who is more clearer with that fast style with Twister, Busta Rhymes, or our boys from Cleveland? It's 1999, my God. Who do y'all got? Who's more clearer? Bone Thugs. We see y'all. Leave a comment, let us know. How are y'all doing? We are discussing 50 years of hip hop, and we just bouncing everywhere. I'll give you another one. We got a few more minutes as the show ends. Fab Five. The Michigan Wolverines was hip hop. 5 freshmen that would do the unthinkable and go to the Final Four. Chris Webber, Jalen Rose, Jimmy Jackson, Jimmy Jackson, Jimmy King, Juwan Howard, or Ray Jackson, my bad. They were hip hop. Back then, you had a lot of bald heads. I'm not going to argue about who it originated from, but Onyx was the dudes with the bald heads. They was inspiring the youth. They was inspiring the youth to have bald heads. The Fab Five, black socks, navy blue and gold Huaraches, the long baggy shorts, the confidence, the unity amongst brothers to play within a unit, the focus of being young freshmen battling all the giants of the NCAA. 50 years of hip hop. I remember this guy. His name was Bushwick Bill of the Ghetto Boys. My eye! Somebody shot me in my eye! Bushwick Bill was incredible. Not only was he lyrical, not only was he a storyteller that could paint a picture, but hip hop didn't have no boundaries as to who can be a part of it. If you had skill, bring it. It's hip hop. Bushwick Bill was what some would say back in those times, a midget. You can't use those words today, it's offensive. So please, my apologies, I'm not saying it in ill manner. But he inspired little people that they too can be part of hip hop. 50 years of hip hop. What about your boy, Russell Simmons? And I got to apologize because I'm forgetting the other brother's name that helped him start Def Jam. I just can't think of it right now. You know, the white guy with the long beard. Respect to him. And if you know his name, leave it in the comments. But the great Russell Simmons, man, was before Master P, was before Suge and them, was before Diddy and them, was before what's some brothers' names over there, man? Ja Rule and them. No disrespect to no one. But Russell Simmons was the architect, the introductor of showing what hip hop was in our community. He's the culture, the imprint. Not only through Def Jam records, but as a conglomerate with Def Jam comedy, Def Jam poetry. Your greatest comedians then came through them doors because of Russell Simmons. 50 years of hip hop. Three cuts in his eyebrow trying to wild out. Niggas trying to wild out. It's a Jay-Z verse about the great Big Daddy Kane. Peace to the God. Big Daddy Kane was lyrical. Could dance his ass off. Because back then, dance was important. It still is today. Back then, it was breakdancing, popping, and anything else of that genre, just like it is today. Kids is incredible today, man. And they're not even really moving as much as the breakers. The breakers had to do so much work. Today, these kids are just moving their bodies in such a artistic way that is just real dope. 50 years of hip hop. I remember this young lady, man, out of Queens, that had a voice. That was one thing about women's rap, is that if you had a voice, ooh, this woman out of Queensbridge is definitely one of the greatest females in hip hop. Her name is Shantae. Her producer friend, Herbie Lovebug. I mean, not Herbie Lovebug. Yeah, Herbie Lovebug, right? Am I saying that right, or is it not Herbie Lovebug, but the producer? Y'all correct me. Go ahead. Herbie something, or you know what I mean? He was with Master C and all them. He produced for all of them. I apologize. But Shantae, man, was an assassin. And we just want to go ahead and honor her here at Coffee Talk Podcast. 50 years of hip hop. I remember this dude coming out of St. Louis. We going downtown, baby. Boom, boom. Let it go. Hey, man, shout out to Nelly, man. Definitely. Because Nelly was the one that really represented the Midwest. You know, I know some of you want to say, no, man, it was Eminem and all that, man. Yeah, whatever, man. We're going to talk about that too in a second before we end the show. But it was Nelly. Why? Because Nelly had to get it out the mud. He didn't have a Dr. Dre to go to. Nelly was a performer, a good actor still. And whether or not he wrote this or wrote that, I mean, that's going to always be part of hip hop, is people are going to say, oh, but you didn't write shit. You know, they say Drake don't write his shit. I've even have said that. I'm guilty of saying it. But at this point, if we're going to bend the rule just a little bit, then yeah, okay. You're good at what you're doing. Being an entertainer, rocking whatever somebody wrote. Please believe all the greats still had something written for them, a hook, something. But we want to give a shout out to my boy Nelly. 50 years of hip hop. This crew right here. The South got something to say. The South got something to say. Andre 3000, Big Boy, Dungeon Family, Outkast, Goody Mob, Future's one of them. They are the sound. Killer Mike. They are the sound of the South. T.I., Luda, Scarface, Slim Thugger, Bun B, Two Live Crew, Rick Ross, no disrespect to those that I'm not mentioning. They be the ear. They is the ear. They paint the image. It's the culture. It's 50 years of hip hop. I remember the show A Different World. Hip hop. It was a show that would come on after the Cosby Show. But they were linked. A show about Hillman College. Cosby's second oldest daughter went there and met Whitley and all these other characters. No disrespect. Dwayne Wayne. The first actor outside of Michael Jordan that would rock the J's so crispy that you had to go get J's. And today, you kids today go get J's, not because of you. Believe me, your parents did it too. Was waiting for the J's to drop. People been waiting for shoes to drop for a mighty long time. And this is 50 years of hip hop, a different world. Shout out to Rap City in the Basement. Shout out to BET when they used to play music videos. Shout out to the song Pain by Tupac that was on the Above the Rim soundtrack. And you can't get it nowhere else. One of my favorite songs of all time. DJ Quick. Tonight. Dun, 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 dun. Slick Rick. Hey, young world. The world is yours. X-Clan. Starter Jackets. MC Light as a rock. LLLLYTE. 50 years of hip hop. Chuck D, Public Enemy. Professor Griff, S1Ws. Redman. Wu-Tang. Mobb Deep. Nas. Jay-Z. Jadakiss. Biggie. 50 years of hip hop. Rap battles on wax was the best. Now you can see them on TV because they still do battles. Slightly formulated a different way on their deliveries, but it's rap, it's hip hop. I know y'all be watching them. I don't know all the characters' names, but I just catch them. MC Hammer, Dame Dash. Very important for the culture. Big shout out to Dame. As I get ready to end this show, 50 years of hip hop, I also want to give it up to some of my favorites here in the Twin Cities. You know. Now, please, if you know of more names, local names, as well as national names, your reflections of 50 years of hip hop, go ahead and leave it in the comments. Hit the like button. Let your friends know it's Coffee Talk Podcast, Cultural Variety Podcast Show. So we celebrating 50 years of hip hop. We talking about house parties. We talking about campus parties. We talking about barbecue parties where all the families would be at the beaches with their families. And everybody had that respect for one another. Even if you didn't like people, you had to respect that the parks was free. The kids could play. The kids could swim. The kids could play at the playgrounds. The women can interact with one another. The brothers can interact with one another, bump their cars. R&B, hip hop, neo soul. 50 years of hip hop. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to our own that's doing their thing. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to some of our legends, the ones that you know, as I think about 50 years of hip hop, there's a few brothers that I want to name. I want to name Big Reese out there, one of the greatest DJs in the Twin Cities. I want to give a big shout out to 7-4, one of the greatest DJs. And when I say Twin Cities, that don't mean I'm keeping them local, because these brothers, they everywhere. Believe me. But DJ Reese, 7-4, Big Hank, Ed Ski, DJ Melvin from back in the day, Disco T, Brother Jules. Rest in peace to both of those brothers. Dan Speed. And some of my favorite rappers. Taylor J, Reed Bricks, Juice Lord, Y. Khalid. Some of the greatest rap venues is in the city where you can go get your shit sharpened, your tool sharpened. The Red Sea. Big shout out to AK for giving the youth throughout the Twin Cities an opportunity. Tonight, we haven't covered everything, but we talked about 50 years of hip hop. We took you down a path, down a journey of my reflections of 50 years of hip hop. And I would like to say thank you for spending that hour with me as we discuss 50 years of hip hop. Make sure that you check out the fight. I don't know how you're going to do it, but you got to do it. You don't want to miss the fight tomorrow between ERROL the Truth Spence, WBA, WBC, IBF champion versus Terrence the Bud Crawford, WBA, WBO world champion for the undisputed title. They're making history. One of these brothers is going to be the king of the mountain. You know what I'm talking about? This is for the 147-pound welterweight championship, July 29th, T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. Make sure that you check out the fight tomorrow. And I'm going to tell you what, you know how we do it. If you've been rocking with me, you know I'm going to have a preview before the fight start where we'll be talking. So until then, thank you, man, for shining with me. Thank you for tuning in to Coffee Talk Podcast. Thank you for your support. And I know sometimes you don't want to hit the like button, but I really would appreciate it. You know what I mean? Well, I would. I ain't afraid to ask for something. I'm old school. I'm from the era where closed mouths don't get fed. You know what I'm talking about? So this is Coffee Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba, and this is your cultural variety podcast show. I'm going ahead and hit you with the universal peace sign. Until next time, man. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace and love. Coffee Talk Podcast.